not only handling the computer, not only handling the activities of computer center, but also involved in a lot of activities, both academics as well as administrative activities of Aligarh Muslim University. Dr. Khan has completed his BTech from, in his time, basically it was called as BSc Engineering. So he has called BTech from AMU, and then he has completed his MTech in Computer Science and Technology, and then PhD in Computer Engineering. So I'm very much thankful to Dr. Parvez Mahmood Khan, because I had just requested him in the very morning when I got the message from Professor Raees Ahmad Khan that due to some urgency he had to travel to Delhi. I just requested him, and I can feel that he's not feeling well from his throat or anything else, but still he has agreed to engage the session. So I am very much thankful to Professor Khan for giving his services and giving consent to interact with you people. So thank you, Professor Khan, and now I hand over the mic to you, please.
Thanks a lot, Professor Asim Zafar Saab, who himself is a very committed academician and a very key faculty member of our university in various committees. Thanks for your time, and I'll endeavor to engage the distinguished faculty members from various institutions and would try to interact with them and see to it that we can share mutual experience and see to it by the end of the session we have some practical solutions for solving some of the problems through IT. Thanks a lot. So as we all are into a subject refresher course for IT, I would like to request all the faculty members of various institutions that this session is going to be more of an interactive. We do have a slide, so I'll also go through a slide. But before we get into the slide and the discussion, I would like to request the participants to share some of their expectations and suggestions that they have. Basis how much IT. In fact, if we all know that recently, few years back, we were into the corona pandemic, and we were compelled to use IT more than what we were using before by the external compulsions or by the natural calamity. All institutions were physically locked down, and we were switched into online mode, and we were compelled to rely on IT, despite the fact that whether we were prepared for it or not was immaterial. And in that process, we had seen that there are some constraints, there are some limitations in the infrastructure, IT infrastructure, and various other infrastructure. That's not a subject of our discussion. For example, healthcare infrastructure. But we realized that we were ill prepared to handle that volume or that scale, switching into a completely online mode or switching into the mode that was compelled by those compulsions. But after the corona pandemic, all the different stakeholders, whether it was top leadership teams in government, in the universities, in UGC, or whether it is in within the institution, chairman, dean, principals, the faculty members, and even the students, people realized the positive side of IT. There were limitations, we all agree, and we will discuss in the today's session how we can address some of those limitations. But we also realize the importance and the potential that IT has to offer. So IT is actually one of the solution enablers. IT alone can't solve any problem, but when IT is blended with couple of other things, the other two things are people and the process. So when all the three, so I can say that there is a triangle. There are three vertex of the triangle. One of them is IT. The other two vertex of the triangle is people and process. Or I can say, give an example, that there is a three-wheeler with three wheels. One of the wheels is the IT. The other two wheels of the three-wheeler are people and process. So unless all the three wheels of a three-wheeler are fully bloated or fully taken care, the vehicle doesn't move. So I have reasons to believe that this refresher course that we are right now into it's focusing on the other wheel, which means the people side of it. That means the people should be trained, people should be seeing the value in using the technology. People should be empowered and enabled to use the technology along with the technology itself, plus the process side of it. So all the three, when they are taken care in the right proportion, we can achieve excellence. So we have seen. Now I would like to request all the faculty members or all the participants in this room, kindly mention some of the problems that we see and come across in our day-to-day um, um, instruction delivery, in our classes, in handling the day-to-day operations of our institution as far as teaching and learning is concerned, or for that matter, even as far as research is concerned, research supervision. Kindly mention some of the problems that we have, because IT is basically a solution enabler. If we look back 20 years back, many of us would agree that if we had to book a rail ticket, we will go to railway station, stand in a queue and book a ticket, or we'll have to rely on some travel agent. That was the norm, and that was a very, very normal. So I'm not talking about too much of I'm not talking about 19th century. I'm talking about 2005, 2006, 2007. This was the scenario. We had to book a ticket, we will have to go to railway station. But then we saw that IT, when the railway started using IT, now hardly any of us go to railway station. We book our tickets through IRCTC website. So we have solved a problem of waiting in the queue, solved a problem of depending on a travel agent by using IT into our personal life. So what happened is, railway identified a problem, and then they adopted technology to solve the problem. So apart from that, there were we all know that there were some corruption in getting the ticket. You pay this much to the window, you'll get that confirmed seat. If you don't make the money, if you don't pay that, you will not get the seat. All of that problem was realized by railways, and what they did is they made a very transparent waiting list, automatic confirmation, etc., through use of technology. So this basically, IT is helped in e-governance, in enhancing the transparency and accountability. So coming back to use of IT in our subject of discussion, which is in the academics, IT in governance of the institutions, IT in management of the operations of teaching, learning, and research. So from that point of view, can we all, because all teachers have very, very handling the students, handling the classes, handling the lab, handling the discipline in the class, etc. So what genuinely are the problems that we find in handling the operations of our institution as far as teaching, learning, and research is concerned? So I would like to hear from the faculty members, so that by the end of this session, we can take away some of the practical solutions that we can adopt in our practical life in our institution. So let's hear from the faculty members. Kindly mention in the chat box, and if your input is already in the chat box, then you don't have to repeat. So the floor is open. I would like faculty members to share some of the inputs. Please go ahead. Yes, participants, kindly mention what are the problems that you believe needs to be addressed. Don't name the institution, because we are not here to find out which institution. We are here to find out what are the common problems for which we can offer technology-enabled solutions. And we will demonstrate some of the solutions that we have implemented in AMU. And wherein those working solutions we will demonstrate right in this very session. So kindly go ahead. Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Please
Yes,
mention
sir.
what.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead and specify some of the problems that you would like to be solved through technology. For example, in some of the other sessions, many participants mentioned that students are not very regular in the class. So if a student is attending 2 classes and missing the 3rd class and 4th class, then the continuity of the discussion, he is not able to stay in the class, and as a result, what is happening is there are some impediment in his or her concept that teacher would not like but it is happening in the class. So how can we solve this problem? Through technology. This is one of the common problem, right? Likewise, you may have many problems. Some people say, my institution has very limited resources, my institution doesn't have this, that's very, very practical. All institutions will have limited funds, limited budget, and IT will help in monitoring class performance, definitely. So one of the participants has said, will the IT help in monitoring the class performance? Absolutely, yes. We will showcase how. Go ahead. What? Because IT is a solution enabler. IT alone can't solve the problem. That means we bring IT and don't take care of the people's involvement in use of IT, it will not solve the problem. And if we don't have the organizational process, then also it will. So all the three has to be properly blended for achieving meaningful results. Yes. Anything else? Any other problems that participants would like to share, inputs that we need to take up in the discussion? If you have, then another 1 or 2 minutes, kindly give your inputs, and then I'll open up the slide and take otherwise some of the common problems that people have solved through IT and what solutions are available, and what some of them we have implemented in AMU, we will showcase. So if you have any suggestions, kindly give. Otherwise, I'll start the slides. So how many participants from outside AMU? Kindly.
Sir, most of the out of AMU.
Okay, cool.
Most of
it. So we'll showcase you some of the examples that we have implemented in AMU that will give you an idea, and with that you can actually real and effective teaching is possible through ICT. Absolutely, yes, it is possible. Not an issue. It is possible. How can ICT will help increase the footfall in library? We will discuss that. No problem. So actually, footfall means physically people arriving into the library and using the facility of the library, because when these NAC or the bodies which give ranking to the institution come, they ask for this data, right? So what happens is, if the people are not coming physically, they should come through technology. That means they should log into the portal, they should refer the online material of the library, etc., etc. So that is also considered as a footfall. So we can do that. There is no problem. We will show. Okay. Government has asked to mentor at least 45 students. How will IT help in this context? Very, very nice. Very nice. We will showcase how we can do it. We will demonstrate right in this class. It saves time and energy to prepare teaching and learning materials. See, technology, see how the IT can help. There will be some effort in preparing the material one time, and then distributing and adopting and adopting them into our curriculum in such a way that it basically, I would say, it gives meaningful value of the efforts and time and energy we spent in preparing the material for the teaching learning process in the courses we are teaching. So we'll discuss that. Absolutely. What are the open source software for interactive learning? Definitely we will discuss. Very nice. So some of the how we will develop social and emotional learning through IT. So let me mention to you, how can IT help improve class attendance of the students? Very nice. Very nice. We will discuss. See, what is happening is, IT does not mean online mode of class only. I want to make it very, very clear. IT means much more. My institution has only one smart class. What are the techniques? Okay. To project. Okay, very nice. So there are some resource constraints. The institution, with the implementation of NEP, how can IT help research purposes, considering that every college may not have necessary infrastructure? Absolutely fine. So let's very nice inputs from the participants, and in the light of these inputs, we will tailor our discussion, and we will also showcase how we can leverage the investments made by the Government of India into creation of digital resources, and how we can get benefited, how our students get benefited, how the students in a remote village can get benefited through those investments that government has made through the centrally funded projects. We will showcase that. Use of online e-creation for self. Absolutely. Use of online available e-content and creation of self e-contents. Very nice. We will discuss that. So let me mention, see what is happening is education is a object of government's responsibility, but the population of India has grown, and the educational institutions grow. Building an educational institution is not easy. It takes lots and lots of uh, how can I improve our teaching by IT. We will showcase this. Absolutely fine. We will. So let me come back to the discussion. Since building an education is not, educations cannot be built just like that. It requires lots and lots of investment and lot of time it takes to build any institution. So with the growth and in the population, the shortage of the institution, government had privatized the education, right? And what happened is, in the private education, the management of the private institution obviously have their own constraints. They will make the investment based on the earnings that they have from the institution. So what is happening is, there are a large number of institutions which do not have very good investment oriented equipments and the good quality faculty members and well paid staff to. As a result, what is happening is, the students which are studying in those institutions end up suffering. So this is known to the government. So what government did is, for example, there are only few IITs, there are few IIMs, there are few AIMS, right? There are few central universities. So, and there are a large number of private universities, there are a large number of private colleges, private institutions. Now, those students in those private institutions go and approach and ask for the facilities, and so the management will have the constraint because of the funds, because of the earnings, and because of so many other, because that's so. As a result, what is happening is, ultimate sufferer is the student. So in order to address this problem, what government did is, they funded many projects and said that while the student in a private institution or in not so good institution does not have access to good quality, he or she could not get admission to good quality institution, but he or she will still have access to the content being taught in those institutions. With that objective, what government did was, they uh, funded a number of projects. So let me share my screen and uh, try to showcase some of the examples, right? So allow me to share my screen and confirm if my screen is visible to you right now. What is visible? Is my browser visible to you?
It's opening,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Visible.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Very
sir.
nice.
Visible.
So now what I'll do is, see, the problem is, the what IT means much more, not only online class. We were compelled to move to online class during Corona pandemic because of the sudden healthcare emergencies across the globe. But IT means much more. In fact, in calendar year 2006, or in year 2006, the then President APJ Dr. APJ Kalam had inaugurated a portal, what was called Sakshat portal. So let me just open that. And try to go to that site and just a minute. Right. So this was the portal that was inaugurated. Obviously, it was in a nascent stage at that point in time. And in that portal, his idea was that even the remotest, a student from the remotest corner of the country, from a small village, can also get educated, because education was very, very close to the heart of our President, Dr. Kalam. And we all know that even he died when giving a lecture. So that was very, very close to his heart. He started this, inaugurated this portal called Sakshat portal. And then he said, through this portal, we can enable our students across the country to get, benefited. Over a period of time, a number of initiatives took place and the portal matured. And then these, and then in our present scenario, the government has a project called Digital India Project that has 9 pillars. That's basically carrying forward those concepts and trying to provide a number of national digital initiatives for educational upliftment of the masses of the country. So with that, what happened is there are a number of initiatives. For example, let me open another initiative which is called NPTEL. So there is an initiative called National Program on Technology Enabled Learning. So what happened is then a number of initiatives were basically undertaken, and it helped us solve a number of problems. For example, if we have got a student studying in a small, not so good institution, he wanted to get admission in IIT, but he could not get admission in IIT. So he still has access to admission, the content being taught in the IIT. So as a result, what is happening is, let's say, let me take an example. So I'll say NPTEL. Let's say a student has NPTEL course. I'll say, if he is having, here are the, so actual lecture being taught in this particular, for example, this course is from IIT Kanpur, and this course is available since 2009, 31/12/2009. So since 2009, this course has been made available. So any teacher who is going to teach this course or a similar course in his institution has access to a very good quality material. So even if his own or her own institution does not provide a good quality, infrastructure, all that is needed is an internet connectivity and a device to connect with. It could be smartphone, it could be laptop, it could be desktop, whatever. That is very, very commonly available now. So all the lectures being taught in that particular course. Likewise, there are so many courses. So there are archives of the courses are available, and the transcripts are also available. So there are transcripts available, and there are relevant books also. They may not be available right now for download, but we can contact the NPTEL and get it if they are not right now visible in the download. So this is some of the things that what government has done is tried to remove the constraint in the individual institution by trying to fund the central projects. Through that project, one of the recent was the what you call SWAM. You might have heard of SWAM, right? Now, in your subject refresher course, you might have had some lecture on SWAM. And for your information, the Professor Asim Zafar Saab, who is actually organizing this course, is the SWAM coordinator of our university. So he himself is involved into the promotion of SWAM courses and into the creation of SWAM courses for hosting on the SWAM platform. But coming back to what are these SWAM courses, why they got born, to provide you the background, in around 2011 or 12, one small experiment was performed. In fact, availability of good quality teacher is lesser in number, and good quality teachers are always in demand and always in shortage. It's a problem not only in my institution, in your institution, but not only in India, but it's a global problem, especially in the higher education, because if we move higher and higher, we get specialization. So for specialization, we need, good quality researcher, good quality faculty member, and they are always shorter in number. So for example, if a particular specialization is available in a particular country, in a particular university, there is a couple of, couple of researchers or couple of professors who are doing the work in that particular field. For them for the rest of the world, to students from the rest of the world to get benefited, there are only two options. Either that particular professor or that particular researcher travels across the globe, meets everybody and interacts everybody, or everybody else travels to his or her university in that particular country and meets. Both of them are not practically possible because of so many constraints: passport, visa, expenditure, time, etc., etc. So in order to solve this problem, in 2012, one of the professors from a university in US, in Department of Computer Science, he undertook an experiment. That experiment was trying to do a virtual class and a session in online mode, and around thousands of people joined from different countries, and that project was very successful, and that gave birth to what is called MOOCs. You might have heard, massive open online courses. So that success resulted into a concept of MOOC, and MOOCs started from 2012 onwards, and Indian version of the MOOCs is called SWAYAM. So what is happening is that particular professor obviously has got a limited, every human being has a limited lifespan. So God forbid if the very, very specialized expert professor, when he dies, all the knowledge and all the expertise he has is lost. So in that process of MOOCs, by preparing digitization of the content and expertise he has, even if he dies. For example, today, Dr. APJ Abul Kalam is no more with us. He has died. But his words of wisdom, his lectures are still available on YouTube. We all can get benefited and get motivated by his lectures. So understand the power, the technology potential that technology has to enhance the coverage, to enhance the outreach of the expertise of an individual to all parts of the world, all continents, all countries, all institutions. That is the advantage that technology offers, and it helps us to overcome many of the bottlenecks. Now, coming back to some of the feedbacks that some of the participants mentioned in the chat box during the discussion, that how can we enhance the engagement of our student, how can we enhance the participation of our students, etc., etc. So let me showcase you one of the things. Have you heard of, some of you might have used also, something called learning management system? Now, participants, please mention,
Yes.
did anybody use LMS, learning management system?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
have used,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, very nice. So which learning management system have you used?
Moodle, sir.
Moodle. Excellent.
Yeah,
Very
Moodle,
nice.
Moodle.
Moodle is a very good LMS. We have implemented Moodle in AMU also. So I'll rush through a small. See, LMS is a very good solution. See, what is happening is, previously in a legacy model, which means when we were students, I mean, I did my high school in 1984, and at the intermediate in 1986, followed by my engineering in 1990 and onwards, so MTech and then etc. So what I'm saying is, when we were students at that point in time, there was no concept of MOOCs. There was no concept of online classes. In fact, when we were third year in engineering, at that time the PC, our university purchased PC, and it was like a museum. We used to go out, and we were not allowed to even enter into the room without, removing the shoes, and etc., etc. So that was something very, very new. But today, things have changed a lot. You are all sitting in different cities, and we are all interacting through technology. That's a solution enabler, isn't it? So, problem of traveling to leaving your comfort of your home and traveling to to Aligarh or any particular place, and staying in hostel or hotel or wherever, and staying away from the comfort of your home, all of that problem can be solved through technology, and we are right now experiencing that technology, isn't it? So technology has huge potential. If adopted meaningfully, it can solve a number of problems. Now I'll give you some of the examples. During the COVID pandemic, we might have all faced. We wanted to have an online class. We sent the meeting link. Some students joined, some could not. And there was another scenario. Many students joined, some of them got dropped out during the class and could not join back again, right? So all of that we have really seen. And when we went into the details, we found that the student was in his village. The power failed, and his laptop drained, or his computer got and he disconnected, and power never came back, so he could not join, right? So all of that is a very, very common problem in the legacy or in the traditional methodology of teaching and learning. What we were finding is there was a focus was on the teacher, not on the learner. The role of learner was passive. So if the student or the learner became late, and teacher enforced the discipline and said, I will not allow latecomers, then that poor learner missed the entire year. Now this particular content will be taught next year by the faculty member, so come back next year. So this was the model. That means the model was very, very rigid. So there was rigidity that you have, and the focus was on the teacher, not on the learner. So if teacher allows, so teacher was controller of learning. So the learning was controlled by the teacher. In the 21st century, in the century we are in, it is not so. The learning is not controlled by the teacher. Teacher is a collaborator, facilitator for learning. There are learning solutions available. Teacher has to guide, mentor, facilitate. That's the transformation that is happening through technology. And if I take the example of LMS, for example, let me open the LMS site that we have in AMU. Now, here is our LMS. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have implemented this. This again is a Moodle LMS that we have implemented in AMU. And we implemented this during 2020. In fact, we had done a pilot on a smaller group several years back, but full-blown implementation was done in year 2020 when COVID pandemic was there. So in the month of July 2020 we implemented, and in fact I was personally involved because we are hosting this server. So in computer center, this server is hosted, and all the faculty members of the university have a user ID and password. So I'll go beyond that. I will log in myself as a teacher, and I'll show you the internals of this LMS so that you can see the potential it offers, the problem it can help us solve. But I'll showcase you some of the practical examples. So this LMS is a one-stop solution for all our students. So for example, if the student was attending the class, he got dropped out because power failed in his village and he could not attend the class. After the class is over, as a teacher, I can upload my slide, and then student in the evening when the power is restored, he can log into the portal, he can download those slides, and I can know from my I can know from my account whether the student has really logged in or not. In case if he has not logged in, then I will know. For example, here is the my dashboard as a teacher. Now you can see here right now I have logged in, so it shows one user last 5 minutes, and I've just logged in, right? So you can see here. Now I'll showcase one of the courses that I taught in the last semester. Here is the dashboard. So if I make an announcement, immediately that announcement will be, I made an announcement on 27th November, and I said, you know, your sessional marks are posted. So I posted the sessional marks. I don't really need to go to notice board. I can post it here, that here are the marks you have, and here are, this is the actual notice that in session 23-24 first semester of MSc Data Science, I had posted this. So here is the enrollment number, here is the faculty number, here are the marks of the internal assessment, etc., etc. So if I post, the beauty is this Moodle LMS has got a mobile app also. So all the students can download the mobile app in their smartphone, and the moment I post a notice, they will get an alert on their mobile, a new notice has been posted. So immediately they can see. If I want to schedule a extra class, I will put an announcement here. So and immediately all the students will get announcement. Here are my slides. For example, the slides that I uploaded, the students can download the slides. So for example, in the 22nd August 2023, this I had uploaded this slide. So this slide is available and the students can download the slide and see. Now, one more thing. So I want to see who are all the participants. Now, here are the participants, are the students of the class. Now, this student, this particular student of mine, basically had logged into the portal 3 days back. He had, here is the student. It gives me time. 3 days, 17-hour backs, this student had logged in. Suppose I give an assignment to my students, and that student has not even logged in the portal. If I ask him, have you studied? He'll say, yes, sir, I have done. But I have a method of cross verification that he has not even logged in the portal, so he is not telling the truth. So here and on the student dashboard, they have got, you know, they will have all the content visible related to this particular course, right? So here, apart from that, another problem that we have often as a teacher, in any class, there are 10-20% students who are above average, a large portion of the class which are average, and a small portion of the class, something like 15, 20, 30% based on the basic, the background of the students. Some of them are below average. Is that true in your classes also? Yes, participants, please mention.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In
Yes,
every
sir,
class, we can divide them into 3 categories, right? We can divide them into above average, average, and below average. Often the teacher would like to help. A good teacher always tries to focus on the below average students and tries to uplift them. So if I want to help those students and I want to do a remedial class or an extra class, I make an announcement without having a proper solution for tailored learning or dynamic learning. What will happen is, you wanted the weaker students to participate in this activity. For all you know, the above average will be participating and below average and many of the average students will be missing. Isn't it? Is that not your feedback also? Because this is because we don't have a method of dynamic learning. We don't have a solution. Fortunately, this LMS called Moodle offers that dynamism so that we can do tailored learning for the groups of the students, and there are lots and lots of solution available. Apart from that, if we another problem that we find is, we give an assignment to the student. Assignment is done by few of them and the rest of them topo and copy and submit it. We have no way how to control. If we don't use technology, it is not possible to control. But if we use technology, there are very, very innovative methods, because a teacher would like his student to commit efforts sincerely into the teaching learning process. And some of the sincere lot will be doing it diligently. Many of the, those who are negligent will not be doing it. They will just copy and paste and try to submit and try to showcase that they have done, but their learnings will not happen because they have not committed the effort themselves. So this problem can also be solved through technology. And in fact, Let me showcase some of them. How, for example, here is an assignment. Now, I'm giving you one case study. You can have many more much better ideas. The idea is, if I allow submission in typed submission, then anybody can copy, paste, and prepare. But if I do not accept the typed content, I want handwritten content. For example, here is some questions that I gave in the assignment. I said question number 1, question number 2, 3, 4, and I don't want any submission physical. I want them to upload in the Moodle portal or in the learning management system. So handwritten only in his own mark will be accepted. Now, when I went for evaluation, I saw that out of the 24 participants, 23 submitted, right? So these 23 participants submitted. Now, if I go back to 23 participants, you can see here that I can open. I want to see the what he has done, and if I open, I can see whether this particular student has written in his own handwriting. Now this student has written. So when even if he is copying what is MySQL, articulates his main feature, he is writing MySQL is a relational database management system, etc., etc. So imagine that in that process, he is at least spending some time to write the assignment in his own handwriting, because if he does not do in his own handwriting, I'm not going to evaluate it. Likewise, we can do a number of things to allow to engage each and every student. For example, there is a national digital resource called Swayam Prabha. Are you aware? I'm sure you will be aware, but many of you will be aware. There is actually this is the resource which is called Swayam Prabha. Are the participants aware about it or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, imagine this Swayam Prabha is actually a direct to home dish TV. Now, we can get the Swayam Prabha channel subscribed in our institution. We can put it in our library, in our common room, in the waiting area, where students can be made to sit and watch that particular program, and not only watch the program, but submit a 2-page handwritten summary of learnings from that program. And we can give this to different students. That means students can be divided and different programs can be assigned. Now, these programs are being aired by government for promotion of education. And there are lots and lots of different programs. Suppose the program that we want our student to go through has already been aired, it will be in the archive. So this is not for profit, but it is basically for promotion of education. So for higher education, a number of programs are happening. For school education, a number of programs are happening. For example, NCERT, E-Vidya, for the school level, NCERT. So many channels. Now, if this is the live content, for example, if I click it here, now, okay. So this is the current, this is the archive. Now you can see here, today, a program on Gadit or mathematics for 9 happened, and this happened from 12 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. right? So in the night, this program had happened because it's happening around the clock. So here are, suppose we can put these channel dish facility in the hostels, and we can help the students by using the facility in the hostel also. These institutions can do. Suppose if the program is already over, then what we can do is, let me take one of the channels from the higher education. Let's take anyone. Let's take a program called biotechnology, etc., etc., whatever. So this is right now running. So if you open this, you play, it will show the actual program running. So what we can do is, instead of giving same assignment to all the students, we can give different assignment to different groups of students or different students and say, you attend this program, prepare a 2-page summary of what you have learned. So there is no real copy paste possible. He will be putting his effort or her effort and basically trying to come back with some learning. So how to identify which program? It basically depends on which course we are teaching, how it obviously has to be related to the subject that we are teaching. So appropriate lecture can be identified and we can assign them. Apart from that, there are so many national resources. With SWAM, we can assign them small MOOCs course and ask them that you go through this course and prepare your own learning. Now we have EPG Pathshala, right? So we can also give some assignments. So in that process, what is happening is we are engaging our students beyond the normal routine engagement, because many students, it's very, very common problem. Students are not very regular classes. They want anytime, anywhere learning. For all of that, we do have the technology enabled solution through which now this is the Moodle that we have. So let me just also for the purpose of running through the slide, let me just open the Moodle slide. Is it visible right now?
Yes, sir.
My slide is
Yes,
visible,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So what is the LMS? What features are available? We can discuss and then we can get into. Kindly mute yourself if possible. Now, Moodle actually is an acronym, right? It's an acronym for modular object oriented. So if I park these two words for now, because modular is a word that many of us would have heard, in terms of the, modular kitchen, etc., etc. So modular and object oriented. They are more of a technical term. So for now, let us park this separately. Let's focus on the other three words. Dynamic learning environment. This is the actually full form of Moodle. So modular object oriented is the technical side of this particular software. So let's park it for now, but focus on dynamic learning environment. So Moodle as an LMS offers a dynamic learning environment for all the learners and also provides facilities for the trainers or the teachers to help them implement dynamic learning environment for their learners, for their students, right? So it's a user-friendly learning management system, and it supports the learning and teaching needs of large number of organizations across the globe. It is used in academia. It is also used in many industry for the training of their staff. There are more than 100,000 registered implementations worldwide. This is the data we had when we did the 2020 implementation. And our implementation is one of those 100,000 implementations. So imagine the number of institutions they are using. 100,000 registered implementations. Many people might have been using, they might not have registered it. But this is the scale of implementation. And it fulfills the learning needs of 150 million learners across the globe. That is the spectrum it covers. Now, Moodle's modular nature and inherent flexibility makes it an ideal platform for both academic as well as enterprise level applications of any size. It basically helps deliver a powerful set of learner-centric tools. That means it enables and makes the life easier for learners if implemented properly. It also provides collaborative learning environments and empowers both teachers as well as learners in using them, efficiently. And it also has a lot of flexibility, and it is highly scalable, which means it can be used for small institutions, for mid-sized institutions, for large institutions. So it is highly scalable, and it is FOSS-based. Now, free and open source software. This is now the FOSS is another initiative where you don't have to pay for the software. In fact, you may have to if you want to use the software under a general public license, if you respect those license conditions, you can download and you can install and you can start using. It's not proprietary software of any company, but it's an open initiative. It's an open source product. So we can implement this. So that the good thing is such a powerful tool available without paying a license fee to any company. That's the advantage and beauty it has. It's open source, supported by global community, and it's developed by global community, and even the code is available. That means if you have some you want to write some additional code, the code is also open. It's not a proprietary software, so Moodle can also be modified if the individual institution has the skill set for the modification of the code, or appending the code, or building a plugin, etc., etc. It adheres to the relevant standards and it supports how we learn. So that's the advantages Moodle has. That's why it is one of the most widely used learning management systems across the globe. Now it is actually a web-based, and it's a web-based solution, and it really, from the browser we can use it. We really don't need to install a software on the individual machine. So it's a web-based and has got a mobile compatible interface. That means there is also a mobile app through which from smartphones also it can be used, and it is therefore accessible anywhere, anytime. So because even if someone is traveling, while travel also he can use Moodle, as long as the connectivity is there and through his smartphone. So anytime, anywhere, really justified. Moodle has been also translated into more than 120 languages. That means localization is possible in the local language. Also Moodle can be implemented. So it is designed to comply with open standards and accessibility standards. That's the beauty it offers. Now it basically allows interoperable design of Moodle, allows developers to build plugins and integrate external applications to enhance the system capabilities and to extend what is possible with the core Moodle. That means if there are some features which are not available in the Moodle, then the add-ons can be, or plugin can be written and integrated with the Moodle. So that enhances its flexibility. And as we speak, there are more than 1,400 plugins. In fact, these numbers was taken in 2020. We are right now in 2024. So the more and more plugin would have already been. In fact, plugins are being uploaded by the community day in and day out based on the needs. So if there are any relevant plugins that can be used by the individual institutions after testing and fitment of their needs. So Moodle's open source code base encourages users to create their own code components as and when needed to share with the open source community at a large. So this basically helps larger developer base because it's open source. It is not proprietary to any company who will build a module and charge money for it. No, it's an open source. So that's the advantage it offers. Now, what are the features? It can support and track the learner's progress. As some of the participants were asking in the chat time and in the chat box in the beginning of the session, that can we track the progress of our class? Yes, we can. We can use through LMS. Moodle is one example of them. There are many other examples, but Moodle is one of them. And through that, we can track the progress of our learners, individual groups of learners also, right? And basic functionality of the Moodle that can be used for learning in any industry, such as discussion forums, chat rooms, wikis, quizzes, assignments, etc., etc. So all these features can be used for enhancing the learning, for tracking the learning, for facilitation of the learning, and it takes care of a variety of learning needs from organizations across all industries, all sizes, education, government, healthcare, etc., etc. All different organizations can use Moodle. Here is one of the screen from internals of the Moodle. If you want to create an activity, we can have an assignment, we can upload a book, we can do chat, choices, database, so many things, feedback. Suppose we want to take feedback, we can create a feedback activity, we can ask students to give feedback. File can be uploaded, folder can be created, forum can be created. Suppose a discussion, some questions are posted and others respond. So the questions as well as responses will be available in the forum. Glossary can be created and so many things. So all of these are possible. Quiz can be taken. So lots and lots of activities are possible in the Moodle. Here is the overview. There are multiple institutions. If they have an MOU, they can also create a community hub, and then they can share the credits, and they can share the the transfer of credits through Moodle. Now, when we started with the few small basic features. So file upload, assignments, quizzes, notifications. This is the very first and basic level of features that is started using. Then the advanced features that included discussion forums, question banks, wikis, Moodle plugins, etc. So that will be something, once the people are comfortable with the basic features, then move to the next level for the advanced features of the Moodle. Plugins, as we mentioned, they are add-ons, additional software components that can be used along with Moodle to extend its functionality or the feature that we are looking. There are thousands of plugin already available. So when a program supports plugin, it enables the customizations. So some of the common plugins are attendance plugin, reminder plugins, analytics plugins, etc., etc. All of that is there. Now, Moodle, as we mentioned, has a mobile app also. It enables delivery of a seamless teaching and learning experience. So through the mobile app across the device, that means if a student has a laptop and has got a mobile, so he can sync the devices, and whatever, suppose he is in home, he can use his laptop. He is on travel, he can use his mobile, and all those content can be seamlessly synced between across the device. So that's the facility it offers. We can use it from remote locations, while commuting, while traveling also. So learning anytime, anywhere, even in offline mode, which means suppose while traveling, sometimes the connectivity will not be there, right? Signals, ISP, signal, Vodafone or Airtel or whatever ISP you are using, his signals are not there. So what one can do is one can download on the device, can start using it. So while traveling, even if there is no connectivity, still the learner can go through the content downloaded on the device. So one can say learning kit in our pocket. That's in short, we can say about the LMS Moodle, right? So Moodle app can be downloaded. So if we are using an Android phone, we can download it from Play Store, Google Play Store, and if it's a Apple iPhone, then from the App Store we can download the Moodle's mobile app, right? Now there are some administration side of it, technical administration, which are performed centrally by the technical team. And for example, in case of MU, the technical side of the Moodle we take care, perform centrally. But then we have the Moodle coordinators of the faculties, and then they perform the assignment of user IDs, etc. in their respective faculties. We have departmental Moodle coordinator also. Apart from that, there are some server-side activities that we do, and then user registrations we have done, course registration. These are all some of the things that we have to do. What are the courses being offered? They need to be registered on the Moodle one time in the beginning of the year, academic year or the semester, and that is where the role of the Moodle coordinators come. Teachers' privileges, allocations, and courses, all of that is done one time, and then they start using. So there are some use cases of the teachers which are enabled by the site administrator, and then privileges are granted on the new and blank courses, and then the teaching and learning resources are uploaded. So here are the teachers' use cases, right? So we can also provide the links of the e-content that related to the course, so that the participants can go through, and that storage is that does not take storage in the Moodle, because we provide the hyperlink of the open educational resources like YouTube link or some SWAYAM courses or whatever, right? So what teachers do is they upload the teaching learning resources related to the course. They also upload the relevant external resources like the online URLs, open educational resources, embed YouTube videos, etc., etc. So and they also administer the assessment, which is the quiz and assignments. This is what teachers do. They also create some collaborative contents like wikis, glossary, etc. So all of that teachers in the Moodle can do. And they interact with the students. There are two types of interaction. One is the synchronous, the other is asynchronous. So the Moodle also has a plugin called Big Blue Button. If we use that plugin, through that we can do the synchronous communication. Otherwise, asynchronous communication is always possible. For example, teacher can log in and see which students had logged in when, what did he do or what did she do. So it can also help track the progress of the students for his learning in the course being taught. Right. So this is as a brief introduction of the Moodle. Now coming back to the our demo. So in this the way we can use the Moodle for tracking the progress. So any questions in what we have discussed so far? Kindly go ahead so that we can endeavor to answer your queries. Take a couple
मेरा
of
क्वेश्चन है सर.
Yeah, go ahead.
हेलो सर.
जी बताइए.
हाँ, मेरा क्वेश्चन है सर, मूडल में हम कितना स्टूडेंट, मतलब लिमिट कुछ है क्या, ऐसा लिमिट की फ्री सब भाषण में, ओपन सोर्स भाषण में कुछ?
ओके, सो ऐसा है कि Moodle, ये डिपेंड करता है Moodle आप कहाँ यूज कर रहे हैं और कैसे यूज कर रहे हैं. देखिए, Moodle को इम्प्लीमेंट करने के लिए किसी सर्वर पे इसको होस्ट करना होगा. तो जब हम सर्वर पे होस्ट कर रहे हैं, वो सर्वर साइड से वो रेस्ट्रिक्शन इंपोज कर सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, Moodle क्लाउड जो है वो ऑफर करता है 50. आप जाके Moodle पे एज वी स्पीक आप 2 मिनट में अकाउंट बना सकते हैं और आप अपना कोर्स वहां स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं. Moodle क्लाउड पे वो ऑफर करता है फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट अप टू 50 यूजर्स. तो अगर आपकी क्लास, यूजर मींस एवरी अकाउंट. सो अगर एक टीचर है और 49 बच्चे हैं तो 50 यूजर हो गए. अगर 2 टीचर हैं और 48 बच्चे हैं तो भी 50 यूजर हो गए. सो अप टू 50 यूजर्स Moodle is allowing free of cost. So you can create that account. बट अगर आपकी क्लास लार्जर है तो फिर उनका एक बिजनेस मॉडल है. देयर समथिंग कॉल्ड कॉस्ट, कॉमर्शियल ओपन सोर्स सॉफ्टवेयर. सो व्हाट दे से इज कि आप हमें $1,000 दीजिए तो हम आपको अलाउ कर देंगे. देन यू हैव टू पे some 1,000. In fact, it's from Australia, so they are maintaining it from Australia. So $1,000 they will ask. तो ये है एक तरीका. दूसरा तरीका है कि आप खुद सर्वर सेटअप करा लें अपने इंस्टीट्यूशन में या किसी थर्ड पार्टी को आउटसोर्स करके एक सर्वर सेटअप करा लें और उनके साथ एक प्रॉपर एग्रीमेंट साइन कर लें. इंस्टीट्यूशनल एग्रीमेंट, नॉन डिस्क्लोजर एग्रीमेंट वगैरह वगैरह, जो भी आपका इंस्टीट्यूशन का प्रोसेस है. और उसके बाद फिर उसका जो डैशबोर्ड है वो आप मेंटेन करें. विच मींस तो उसमें सर्वर के रिसोर्सेस के हिसाब से देयर इज नो लिमिट. फॉर एग्जांपल, इन एमयू वी हैव नो लिमिट. वी हैव एब्सोल्युटली नो लिमिट ऑन द नंबर ऑफ यूजर्स ऑन एनी कोर्स. तो हमारे, चूंकि सर्वर हम मेंटेन कर रहे हैं, जब कंस्ट्रेंट होगा तो सर्वर के रिसोर्स होता है तो हम अपने सर्वर्स के रिसोर्स को इनहांस कर लेते हैं. वो हमारे यूजर्स को, टीचर्स को पता नहीं चलता. वो हेडेक उनकी नहीं है, वो टेक्निकल साइड की है. तो जो एक्चुअली कंपल्शन है वो सर्वर के रिसोर्सेज की लिमिटेशन होती है. तो वो हमें इनहांस करना होता है बेस्ड ऑन द बॉटलनेक्स इन द सर्वर, बेस्ड ऑन द यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ द सर्वर, बेस्ड ऑन द अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ द रिसोर्सेज एंड द डिमांड. तो ये ऑप्टिमाइजेशन जो है वो टेक्निकल साइड पे होता है. तो यूजर के लिए कोई दिक्कत नहीं. हाँ, अगर आप शुरू कर रहे हैं तो मैं कहूंगा कि एज ए टीचर, अगर आपकी क्लास छोटी है तो आप 50 से लेस है तो आप डायरेक्टली Moodle के क्लाउड पे 1-2 सेमेस्टर करके अपने को फैसिलिटेट कर कंफर्ट बढ़ा लें. उसके बाद फिर आप अपने इंस्टीट्यूशन से बताएं कि देखिए मैंने इसको आप Moodle क्लाउड पे किया था, फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट किया था, ये एडवांटेज मुझे मिले. अगर आपका इंस्टीट्यूट, एंड आई एम श्योर इफ द इंस्टीट्यूशंस मैनेजमेंट sees the value, they will definitely support, because it is something that will help us a lot in so many other things. For example, अगर कोई यूनिवर्सिटी की रैंकिंग एजेंसी या कोई बॉडी है और वो एविडेंस मांगती है कि आप हमें एविडेंस दिखाइए। जैसे किसी ने मुझसे पूछा था फुटफॉल जो है, वन ऑफ द पार्टिसिपेंट हैज सेड हाउ कैन वी यूज टेक्नोलॉजी टू शोकेस द फुटफॉल, राइट? तो जितना हमारे स्टूडेंट्स यूज कर रहे हैं, लॉग इन कर रहे हैं, उसका जो लॉग मूडल में मेंटेन होता है, मूडल इज वेरी वेरी नाइस, लॉग ऑल्सो इट मेंटेन्स। तो वो जो लॉग मेंटेन होता है, उस लॉग को इज बेसिकली एन एविडेंस दैट कैन बी यूज्ड बाय द एक्रेडिटिंग बॉडीज एंड द रैंकिंग एजेंसीज। तो ये सब चीजें हम बता सकते हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर किसी की जैसे मैं AICT नॉर्म्स का एग्जांपल लूंगा, AICT का कुछ नॉर्म्स है, क्लासरूम इतने होने चाहिए, क्लास का साइज इतना होना चाहिए, ट्यूटोरियल रूम इतने होने चाहिए, वगैरह वगैरह। अब अगर किसी इंस्टीट्यूशन में उसकी कोई डेफिशिएंसी है, तो हम एक ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म के थ्रू उस डेफिशिएंसी को ओवरकम कर सकते हैं। हम बता सकते हैं कि आइडिया यह है कि अगर क्लास 60 की है और ट्यूटोरियल रूम जो है वो 15 का होना चाहिए, विच मीन्स ए स्मॉल ट्यूटोरियल रूम जिसमें बच्चे को बैठा के उसकी पर्सनल अटेंशन दे के हम उसकी ट्यूटरिंग कर सके, ये उसका ऑब्जेक्टिव है। अब अगर फिजिकल क्लासरूम नहीं है हमारे पास उतना हमारी बिल्डिंग में, तो हम मूडल के अंदर हम डिस्कशन फोरम्स बना के मेंटरिंग कर सकते हैं, उसका एविडेंस वहां पोर्टल पर रख सकते हैं। तो हम AICT को बता सकते हैं कि भाई हमारे पास फिजिकल क्लासरूम की शॉर्टेज है, उस शॉर्टेज को ओवरकम करने के लिए हमने LMS में क्लासरूम बना रखे हैं, हम यहां पर ट्यूटरिंग करते हैं, यहां मेंटरिंग करते हैं, और ये हमारा एविडेंस है। देखिए हमने पिछले सेमेस्टर में इतनी ट्यूटरिंग की, इतनी मेंटरिंग की, ये देखिए इस एविडेंस है। आई हैव स्ट्रॉन्ग रीजंस टू बिलीव that it cannot be denied because the objectives are being fulfilled, may not be through physical but maybe through virtual, maybe through LMS, और हमारा एविडेंस मौजूद है, वेरीफाइबल एविडेंस है, तो इट कैनॉट बी डिनाइड। जी बताइए
सर। जैसे कि आपने बोला कि सर्वर क्रिएट करके, सर्वर में सर और एक प्रॉब्लम मेरे ख्याल से आ सकता है, उसमें अपडेट का जो प्रॉब्लम होता है, टाइम टू टाइम ओपन सोर्स सॉफ्टवेयर को अपडेट करना पड़ता है,
हाँ
उसका
हाँ,
क्या सोल्यूशन होगा सर?
जब हम सर्वर को मेंटेन करेंगे तो अपडेट तो करना ही पड़ेगा। मैं कहना चाह रहा हूं मूडल LMS का जो लॉन्ग टर्म, ये इनफैक्ट ये किसी भी सॉफ्टवेयर के साथ है। आपका जैसे मोबाइल फोन है, टाइम टू टाइम अपडेट मांगता है ना, सिक्योरिटी पैचेस रिलीज होते हैं, वर्जन अपडेट होता है, बग फिक्सेस होते हैं, तो आप करते हैं। वो अपडेट आपके स्मार्टफोन का जो अपडेट है, एंड्रॉयड का अपडेट है या आईफोन का जो अपडेट है, उसको अपडेट को आप क्या करते हैं, वो आपको प्रॉम्प्ट करता है, आप ओके करते हैं, एक्सेप्ट करते हैं, वो रीस्टार्ट करता है खुद ही। यहाँ पे क्योंकि एक सॉफ्टवेयर इन्वॉल्व है और कई कंपोनेंट्स हैं, तो यहाँ पे किसी टेक्निकल टीम की जरूरत पड़ेगी। तो आपका जो सर्वर, जब आप सर्वर स्टैब्लिश करेंगे तो किसी ना किसी टेक्निकल टीम के साथ कोलैबोरेट करेंगे, या तो आपके इंस्टीट्यूशन की इंटरनल टेक्निकल टीम होगी, या फिर कोई आप किसी टेक्निकल एक्सपर्ट से हेल्प लेंगे। तो उन्हीं से, ये अपडेट रोज नहीं होता है, ये अपडेट साल 6 महीने में एक बार होगा, ये जो मूडल के अपडेट की बात कर रहा हूं। अच्छा, वो अपडेट आप तो एनुअली कर ले, या एटलीस्ट वंस इन 6 मंथ्स कर ले, और वो अपडेट जो है वो जो सर्वर का एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर होगा उसी की प्रेजेंस में, या उसी की वो, अच्छा उसमें जरूरी नहीं कि वो आदमी आपके सिटी में लोकली प्रेजेंट हो, आपके इंस्टीट्यूशन के कुछ इम्पैनल्ड एजेंसीज होंगी आईटी के नीड के हिसाब से। क्योंकि इनफैक्ट अभी प्रॉब्लम ये है कि विद द इनहांसमेंट इन आईटी, तो आईटी का जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है या आईटी का जो मैनेजमेंट है, उसके लिए हर इंस्टीट्यूशन को कुछ ना कुछ बजट और कुछ ना कुछ स्किल सेट रखनी होगी। अगर इन हाउस नहीं है तो इम्पैनल कर ले रेप्यूटेड एजेंसीज को। और उसके अलावा एक और चीज है जो कि इस केस में नहीं है, बट जनरल बात कर रहा हूं कि there are cyber compliance etc. So those are some of the things probably that is not to be discussed with the teachers but maybe with the administrators of the institutions. तो वहां पर जो ये वाली हेडेक है कि हम अपडेट करें, that headache should be taken by the administration or the technical side of things, not by the teachers. टीचर का तो उस पर कंटेंट अपलोड करना है, इसका फैसिलिटेशन जो इंस्टीट्यूशन का जो मैनेजमेंट है उनको करना चाहिए। तो अगर आप उनको नहीं मालूम है तो आप उनको मेंटरिंग कर दें। अगर वो उन मैनेजमेंट की कोई क्वेरी है, सो देन सिंस आई एम हैंडलिंग दी हमने इसको इन हाउस एमयू में किया था। हमारा क्या केस स्टडी था, फॉर एग्जांपल जब हमें 2020 में शुरू करना हुआ तो हमारे पास सर्वर नहीं था इसका, तो हमने क्लाउड में एक वर्चुअल सर्वर लिया, वीपीएस कहलाता है, वर्चुअल प्राइवेट सर्वर, और हमने उस पे इंप्लीमेंट कर दिया। आवर वाइस चांसलर वाज वाज कंसर्न कि बहुत टाइम लगेगा, कैसे होगा, वगैरह वगैरह। बट since I'm basically from I have got 360-degree experience of the industry also, so what I did is I said, sir, you leave it to me, let me handle it. So I basically in the month of July he was saying that we have to, and I think by 15th August our server was up and running fully, and we had done couple of training also in the month of July itself on the virtual private server. So imagine it is possible. इस केस में किसी ना किसी टेक्निकल कोई सिस्टम इंटीग्रेटर होगा जिसको एंगेज करेंगे और वो 1-2 दिन में कर देगा। तो जो भी आपके इंस्टीट्यूशन का प्रोसेस है उस प्रोसेस को फॉलो करते हुए किसी सिस्टम इंटीग्रेटर से को एंगेज करके ये सेटअप करा ले, 2-4 दिन 10 दिन जो भी लगे, और उसके बाद ट्रेनिंग करा के इसको अपने इंस्टीट्यूशन में लॉन्च कर दे। This will help on a better scale for the institution. As an individual faculty member, without the support of the institution, आप क्लाउड में जाके कर सकते हैं। अगर 50 is the total number of users in your class, that you can do without depending on. But sooner or later it has to come to institution, and institution has to implement it, and institution has to promote its implementation and support conduct training, and इससे बहुत फायदा होगा स्टूडेंट्स का भी, फैकल्टी मेंबर का भी, और चीजें बहुत आसान हो जाएंगी। we'll be moving to less paper solution। और फिर हमारी स्लाइड्स वहां मौजूद हैं, मटेरियल मौजूद है, पिछले साल बच्चों ने हमने क्या क्वेश्चन दिया। इट्स अ फैंटास्टिक सॉल्यूशन फॉर लर्निंग नीड्स ऑफ द इंस्टीट्यूशन, मैनेजिंग द लर्नर्स नीड, टेलर्ड नीड, एंड जितने बहुत सारे बॉटलनेक्स हैं वो दूर हो जाएंगे। और अच्छी चीज ये है कि बहुत सारी जो फिजिकल एनवायरनमेंट की शॉर्टकमिंग्स है वो हम यहाँ से उसकी डेफिशिएंसीज को यहाँ से हम ब्रिज कर सकते हैं। we can overcome that। जी बताइए, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? गूगल क्लासरूम एंड Moodle, जी बताइए। So there is one question somebody has asked, how can we save results class wise? देखिए ऐसा है कि यहां पर Moodle में हम, जैसे मैं, लेट मी शो यू, यहां पर एक होम पेज है, ये डैशबोर्ड तो टीचर का है। लेट मी लॉग आउट। अब ये हमारा होम मेन पेज आ गया। यहां पर जाके अगर हम कोई चीज अनाउंस करना चाहें तो हम कर सकते हैं। रिजल्ट क्लास वाइज, तो देखिए क्लास वाइज तो यहाँ पे फैकल्टी, जैसे फैकल्टी का रिजल्ट है तो फैकल्टी के पेज पे जाके अपलोड कर सकते हैं। तो कोई चीज अगर हम अनाउंस करना चाहें तो अनाउंसमेंट तो हर पर्टिकुलर टीचर के पास एक अनाउंसमेंट का डैशबोर्ड है। टीचर कैन अनाउंस ऑन हिज डैशबोर्ड। जैसे हमने अभी आपको दिखाया था कि हमने अपने इंटरनल असेसमेंट्स के मार्क्स को Moodle पे पहले पब्लिश कर दिया, ताकि अगर किसी स्टूडेंट को कोई चीज डिस्कस करनी वो आके डिस्कस कर ले। फिर हमने फॉर्मली उसको सबमिट कर दिया चेयरपर्सन ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट या कंट्रोलर या जहां भी जाना होता है, जो भी मॉडरेशन कमेटी है। तो जब हमने उसको पब्लिश कर दिया तो दैट एड्स वन मोर लेवल ऑफ ट्रांसपेरेंसी, और उसके अलावा फिर स्टूडेंट्स को इमीडिएटली विजिबल हो गया। अब अगर किसी स्टूडेंट को उसको लगता है कि हमें मार्क्स कम मिला है, ही इज ऑलवेज वेलकम टू कम कि सर हमने Moodle पे देखा, हम अपनी कॉपी देखना चाह रहे हैं, हमें आप दिखा दीजिए, या हमने ये, ही वांट्स टू डिस्कस, ही कैन डिस्कस। तो हमने इसको पब्लिश कर दिया उसके मार्क्स को, और उसके बाद थोड़े टाइम के बाद हमने उसको फिर डिपार्टमेंट में सबमिट कर दिया, ताकि वो उसको एक अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल जाए, एंड ही ऑल्सो फील सेटिस्फाइड कि हमारे साथ फेयर ट्रीटमेंट हुआ है। तो इस तरह से बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो हम इस प्लेटफॉर्म के थ्रू कर सकते हैं। और हमें फिर फिजिकली, देखिए ऐसा हो रहा है कि गवर्नमेंट इंस्टीट्यूशंस में, मुझे नहीं मालूम आपके इंस्टीट्यूशन में क्या सिचुएशन है, बट एमयू में या और इसमें जितने भी ग्रेड 4 के लोग रिटायर हो रहे हैं, कोई रिप्लेसमेंट ही नहीं आ रहा है। वो बता रहे हैं कि साहब वो जो रिटायर हो रहा है, ही इज गेटिंग रिटायर्ड, वी आर नॉट गेटिंग रिप्लेसमेंट, वी आर स्ट्रगलिंग अलॉट। तो अब उसके नतीजे में अब हमें कोई नोटिस बोर्ड पे नोटिस लगाना है तो आप किसके पास जाएंगे? आदमी है नहीं, वो रिटायर हो गया है। कोई भी बेचारा चेयरमैन हो या हेड ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट है, वो आपको बताएगा कि यार लेट अस मैनेज समहाउ, वो सोचेगा मेरा टेन्योर किसी तरह से मैनेज हो जाए। तो ये बड़ी प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम है। तो अगर आपके पास ई नोटिस बोर्ड होगा तो आपको किसी से डिपेंड नहीं करना है, आपने सीधा आपने क्लिक किया, आपके नोटिस बोर्ड पे पेस्ट हो गया, आपके पास एविडेंस है नोटिस। तो आपकी डिपेंडेंसी जो है वो अटेंडेंस पे कम हो रही है, आपकी डिपेंडेंसी। अच्छा, उसके अलावा और भी बहुत सारी चीजें, जैसे लैब है। मैंने बहुत सारे नेशनल डिजिटल रिसोर्सेज का डिस्कशन नहीं किया बिकॉज देयर आर लॉट्स एंड लॉट्स। मैं आपको बताऊं, वी हैव गॉट फ्यू मिनट्स, सो इन दैट फ्यू मिनट्स आई विल शेयर सम ऑफ द मोर। अब जैसे बात कर लेते हैं उसकी रिसर्च की, तो रिसर्च में ये तो हो गया टीचिंग लर्निंग साइड। अब रिसर्च में भी जैसे कोई रिसर्च स्कॉलर, क्या प्रॉब्लम है रिसर्च स्कॉलर की बताइए जरा सा। रिसर्च प्रोसेस की क्या प्रॉब्लम है? एक कोई बच्चा या आप, हम और आप, हम में से जिन लोगों ने पीएचडी किया है वो सब उस प्रोसेस से गुजर चुके होंगे, या अगर आप पीएचडी सुपरवाइज कर रहे हैं तो आप जो है देख रहे होंगे, जब बच्चा पीएचडी में एडमिशन लेता है स्टूडेंट, तो एडमिशन प्रोसीजर पूरा करने के बाद जब वो डिपार्टमेंट में आता है डे 1 पे, उसके बाद व्हाट ही शुड डू। आप बताइए, मैं आप पार्टिसिपेंट से पूछ रहा हूं, आपने किसी रिसर्च स्टूडेंट को सुपरवाइज कर रहे हैं? क्या फीडबैक है आपका और क्या आपका सजेशन है? क्या प्रॉब्लम्स आप महसूस कर रहे हैं, बताइए। मैंने रिसर्च स्टूडेंट्स से भी डिस्कस किया है, रिसर्च सुपरवाइजर से भी डिस्कस किया है। एक कॉमन प्रॉब्लम विदाउट रेफरिंग टू एनी केस, रिसर्च सुपरवाइजर्स बाय एंड लार्ज बोलते हैं कि साहब हमारा रिसर्च स्कॉलर जो है वो जो 6 महीने की जो प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट होती है ना, जब वो वक्त करीब आता है, जब ही आता है, वो टाइम दे नहीं पाता है। ये बहुत सारे सुपरवाइजर्स का ये वर्जन है कि अरे साहब वो जो है जब कहीं 3 महीने में प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट जमा होती है, कहीं 6 महीने में, तो जब प्रोग्रेस, या कहीं स्कॉलरशिप का मामला है तो महीने में जब स्कॉलरशिप का साइन कराना होता है, जब वो दिखाई देता है, बाकी वो जो है टाइम पता नहीं क्या करता है। अच्छा, रिसर्च स्कॉलर से बात करें तो वो बताता है कि सर वो सुपरवाइजर बहुत बिजी है हमारे, मैं कई बार गया, वो टाइम ही नहीं दे पा रहे हैं। ये है स्टोरी दोनों साइड की। बाय एंड लार्ज देयर आर ऑलवेज एक्सेप्शंस, बट बाय एंड लार्ज, लेकिन ये ऑफ द रिकॉर्ड बताते हैं, वो रिकॉर्ड पे नहीं बताएंगे। जब आप रिकॉर्ड पे ये बात कहेंगे तो रिकॉर्ड पे तो जाहिर सी बात है, लेकिन अगर आप प्राइवेटली पता करें कि भाई क्या करा जाए कि आपका रिसर्च जो है वो जल्दी हो जाए, अच्छा हो जाए। प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हमने रिसर्च के, अच्छा रही बात जो है, जैसे एक पार्टिसिपेंट ने कुछ दिया है कि जब वो पहुंचे तो सिलेक्शन ऑफ टॉपिक, कलेक्शन ऑफ डेटा एंड एप्लीकेशन ऑफ टेस्ट ऑन कलेक्टेड डेटा, ये बहुत अच्छी बात है। लेकिन सवाल ये है कि टॉपिक सेलेक्ट कैसे होगा? अगर कोई रिसर्च स्कॉलर किसी और के सजेस्टेड टॉपिक पे रिसर्च शुरू कर देगा तो वो कुछ दिन के बाद जाके उसको डेड एंड मिल जाएगा, क्योंकि वो उसने वो प्रॉब्लम, हो सकता है वो कर ले जाए, हो सकता है वो ना कर पाए। तो यहां पर हम कैसे टेक्नोलॉजी की मदद से लेटेस्ट जो है वो काम जो नहीं हुआ है उसको हम कैसे एड्रेस करें, कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करें, क्या सॉल्यूशंस अवेलेबल हैं। गूगल पे टॉपिक सर्च ना करें, क्योंकि गूगल इज नॉट ए गुड सोर्स, बिकॉज गूगल से जनरल सर्च करेगा और जनरल पब्लिकेशन बहुत आसान है, कोई कुछ भी उठा के पब्लिश कर दे, वी डोंट नो। तो हमें जो रेलेवेंट डेटाबेसेस हैं, जैसे स्कोपस है, वेब ऑफ साइंस है, या मेडिकल साइंस में पबमेड है, इस तरह के जो डेटाबेसेस हैं जो इंडेक्स करते हैं पब्लिश्ड आर्टिकल्स को, उनको सर्च करें। उनको कैसे सर्च करें, वहां पर क्या है? तो जो ये सब चीजें जो इंस्टीट्यूशन में जो कोर्स वर्क है, उस कोर्स वर्क के दरमियान या उस कोर्स वर्क के बीच में, during the coursework we can use Moodle, so that the research methodology course may, there must be a component of technology also, how we can use technology for doing literature review or literature survey more effectively and more efficiently. उसके अलावा रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी की अगर कोई अच्छी वेबिनार या वर्कशॉप हो रही है, और वो लंदन में हो रही है, न्यूयॉर्क में हो रही है, और उसका ओपन एजुकेशनल रिसोर्स अवेलेबल है, तो वो हमारे मॉडल में उसकी URL हो, ताकि हमारा स्टूडेंट वो अगरचे वो उस वेबिनार में नहीं गया तो वो उस वेबिनार में जाके, या उसको हम एक असाइनमेंट दें कि बेटा ये 1.5 घंटे की वेबिनार है, इसको आप गो थ्रू करो और इसको 3 पेज में अपनी हैंड रिटन में आपने क्या समझा इससे, व्हाट इट मीन्स फॉर अस, हाउ वी टेक इट फॉरवर्ड इन आवर केस, इसको जरा बेटा बना के ले आओ, फिर हम डिस्कस करें। और ये वो चीजें हैं, जैसे मैं प्रैक्टिकल बात कर रहा हूं कि अब जो रिसर्च के प्रॉब्लम्स है, और क्या प्रॉब्लम है रिसर्च में, एक तो टॉपिक फाइनलाइजेशन, तो टॉपिक शुड इवॉल्व, नॉट सजेस्टेड बाय सम थर्ड पार्टी और उस पर वो शुरू कर दे। In order to evolve and identify the research questions, there has to be very systematic efforts. उस efforts के conduct में टेक्नोलॉजी का एक बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट रोल है। How he can search the latest, ऐसा ना हो कि उसने 8 महीने लगाए और कोई टॉपिक लेके आया, पता चला कि साहब ये तो ऑलरेडी हो चुका है, ये आप क्यों लाए हो, ये तो उसका वेस्टफुल एफर्ट ना हो। How we can be more efficient? For that, there are technology solutions available we can adopt and use. So that we will discuss maybe in some other session. But the fact remains कि ये बड़ा technology is, as I said in the beginning, technology is a solution enabler. Technology alone can't solve. Technology से ही सारी research हो जाए possible तो नहीं है, but technology is definitely a huge solution enabler. और एक बताइए और क्या प्रॉब्लम है रिसर्च में, मैं जिसकी तरफ मैं फ्लैग करना चाह रहा हूं, रिसर्च में और कोई प्रॉब्लम है? प्लेजरिज्म का नाम सुना है? हेलो, यस पार्टिसिपेंट्स,
यस सर।
क्या होता है प्लेजरिज्म?
यस सर।
प्लेजरिज्म क्या होता है?
किसी का
कॉपी होने
सिमिलर वर्क जब कॉपी करते और एक्नॉलेज नहीं करते तो
जी,
प्लेगरिज्म होता है।
तो रिसर्च में प्लेजरिज्म को चेक किया जाता है ना? मतलब पेपर पब्लिश के लिए आप भेजेंगे तो वो उनके अपने नॉर्म्स होंगे कॉन्फ्रेंस के कि आप प्लैग चेक कीजिए, अगर प्लैग चेक रिपोर्ट में कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ रही है तो आपको वापस भेजेंगे, आप इसको देखिए वगैरह वगैरह। तो अब मेरा एक सवाल सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स से है, आप लोग जो है वो विद्वान लोग हैं, नॉलेजेबल लोग हैं, गैलेक्सी ऑफ एकेडमिशियंस। मेरा एक सवाल है जो मैं अक्सर सेशन में पूछता हूं अपने पार्टिसिपेंट से, और ये मेरा सवाल has nothing to do with the institution, तो इसको आप इंस्टीट्यूशन से एट्रीब्यूट मत कीजिए, मेरा पर्सनल सवाल है, एक इंटरेक्शन और एक डिस्कशन है। आप मुझे बताइएगा, जस्ट फॉर माय ओन नॉलेज, मैं पूछना चाह रहा हूं, हमारा एजुकेशन सिस्टम राइट फ्रॉम स्कूल प्लेजरिज्म को प्रमोट करता है या डिस्करेज करता है? आप बताइएगा।
प्रमोट करता है सर।
अच्छा, तो ये जो है हमारा जो अब बताइए, स्कूल में आपने देखा होगा कि स्कूल में छोटा बच्चा, हम सब ने देखा है, बच्चा घर में आके रो रहा होता है, पेरेंट्स से कह रहा होता है कि मेरा प्रोजेक्ट बना दो वरना कल को हमारी टीचर गुस्सा हो जाएंगे, हम स्कूल नहीं जाएंगे। और उसके मदर, उसके ब्रदर, उसकी एल्डर सिस्टर, उसके कोई ना कोई मदर फादर मिलके उसका प्रोजेक्ट बना रहे होते हैं, उस पे उसका नाम लिख रहे होते हैं, बहुत अच्छा सा कॉस्मेटिक प्रोजेक्ट बना के ले जाता है और उसको मार्क्स मिलते हैं। और जो बच्चा अपने हाथ से बना के ले जाए, ओरिजिनल काम करके ले जाएगा, वो बहुत ज्यादा कॉस्मेटिक, बहुत ज्यादा प्रेजेंटेबल नहीं होगा। जो बच्चा अपने हाथ से बना के ओरिजिनल ले जाता है, उसके साथ क्या ट्रीटमेंट होता है स्कूल में, बताइए? क्या टीचर्स या स्कूल हमारा उसको इनकरेज करता है? बताइए, खुल के बताइए।
नो सर,
नहीं
नो
करता
सर।
ना, उसको मार्क्स नहीं मिलते हैं, वो बच्चा रोता, कहता मैं आज स्कूल ही नहीं जाऊंगा, आज मुझे डांट पड़ जाएगी। तो हमारा जो एजुकेशन सिस्टम है वो बच्चे को दिमाग में बचपन से बैठा रहा है कि इधर से कॉपी, उधर से कॉपी, हुक और क्रूक किसी और से काम कराओ, सबमिट कर दो तो मार्क्स अच्छे मिल जाएंगे। ये तो स्टोरी है।
इवन सर जो क्वेश्चन के आंसर लिखवाते हैं, लोग कहते हैं कि बुक से यहाँ तक लिख लो छोटे बच्चों से।
नहीं, अब आप सोचिए कि हमारा सिस्टम जो है ओरिजिनलिटी को इनकरेज नहीं कर रहा है, तो केजी से पीजी तक तो ये चलता रहा, और जब पीएचडी में आए तो यू टर्न लिया, और यू टर्न लेने के बाद कहने लगे कि साहब प्लेजरिज्म इज बैड। तो मैं आपसे इसलिए,
एग्जाम में भी सर ऐसा ही होता है, एग्जाम में किताब से डायरेक्ट जो लिखता है उनको ज्यादा मार्क मिलता है, जो अपने कॉन्सेप्ट से लिखता है उनको कम मार्क मिलता है।
नहीं, तो मैं आपसे क्यों डिस्कस कर रहा हूं, मैं इसलिए कह रहा हूं क्योंकि ये प्रॉब्लम ना आप ना हम, हमारे लेवल पे सवाल, हम कर नहीं पाएंगे। लेकिन मैं इसलिए डिस्कस कर रहा हूं कि कल को आप किसी ऐसी कमेटी में हो जहां पॉलिसी मेकिंग हो रही हो, तो आप अपने लेवल पे ओरिजिनलिटी को सपोर्ट करें, ओरिजिनलिटी को इनकरेज करें और कोशिश करें, ताकि कोई सिस्टम का सुधार एक दिन में नहीं हो सकता है और एक आदमी से नहीं हो सकता है। इट रिक्वायर्स कलेक्टिव एफर्ट, इट रिक्वायर्स कंसेंसस बिल्डिंग। तो कम से कम हमारा सिस्टम, हम लोग इसमें तो बिलीव करें कि हम इसको प्रमोट करेंगे, ओरिजिनलिटी को इनकरेज करें। अब जैसे हमारा स्टूडेंट है, कोई ओरिजिनल काम करके लाया है, बहुत प्रेजेंटेबल नहीं है, कोई बात नहीं, अगर ओरिजिनल है तो हम इसको प्रमोट करें। मैं बहुत सारे वाइवा में जब बैठता हूं या कोई प्रोजेक्ट का वाइवा ले रहा हूं, तो जब मैं उसकी प्रैक्टिकलिटी में डिस्कस करता हूं, तो मुझे आई गेट पेन टू सी कि बच्चा जो है वो इसमें इंटरेस्टेड है कि मार्क्स आ जाए। मार्क्स इज बाई प्रोडक्ट, द मेन प्रोडक्ट इज द लर्निंग, मेन प्रोडक्ट इज द स्किल दैट यू विल एक्वायर, इजंट इट? तो मैं ये कहना चाह रहा हूं कि इसकी रही बात, उसके लिए आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि प्लेजरिज्म इज गुड, आई डोंट सपोर्ट प्लेजरिज्म, बट व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज कि हम इसको सिस्टम में लाने के लिए हम शुरू से एकदम केजी से शुरू करें और आगे तक पीएचडी तक ले जाए। ऐसा ना हो कि हम बीच में यू टर्न ले और दिशा बदल दे। दैट इज द माय पर्सनल व्यू। नाउ कमिंग टू द ऑफिशियल वर्जन, ऑफिशियल वर्जन ये है कि हम जो है, जाहिर सी बात है, प्लैग चेक के टूल्स हैं, हमें उसको यूज करना चाहिए। जनरली ये टूल्स जो है वो कॉस्टली होते हैं, तो लाइब्रेरीज के अंदर ये रहते हैं, तो लोगों को लाइब्रेरी में अपने थीसिस को या अपने पेपर को देना होता है। और मोस्ट ऑफ द इंस्टीट्यूशन में ये चलता रहता है कि साहब ये हमारे पास नहीं है, ये टीचर के पास होना चाहिए, लाइब्रेरी में क्यों है? तो इसका एक बहुत प्रैक्टिकल सोल्यूशन ये है कि आमतौर पे क्योंकि कॉस्ट इन्वॉल्व होती है और कॉस्ट की लिमिटेशंस हर इंस्टीट्यूशन में होती है, तो 2-3 बच्चे मिलके अपने पीएचडी के आखिरी साल में वो सब्सक्राइब कर ले। स्टूडेंट का जो वर्जन है वो लेस एक्सपेंसिव होता है, $100 में मिल जाए या $50 में, मुझे नहीं मालूम कॉस्टिंग क्या है, और बहुत सारे डिस्काउंट्स होते हैं। तो स्टूडेंट अगर डायरेक्टली सब्सक्राइब कर ले, आपका 2-3 पीएचडी स्टूडेंट मिलके, तो अपने आखिरी साल में फिर वो खुद इस्तेमाल करेंगे और कम पैसे में उनका काम हो जाएगा। कॉस्टिंग तो वैसे भी आ रही है। तो ये एक प्रैक्टिकल सोल्यूशन है जो मैंने महसूस किया है और मैंने देखा है और यूज किया है। तो इससे जो है बहुत सारे, यानी इट बिकम्स अ ट्रेड ऑफ बिटवीन द कंपीटिंग डिमांड्स ऑफ मल्टीपल रिसोर्सेस। तो इस तरह होता है। बाकी तो इंस्टीट्यूशन, तो हर इंस्टीट्यूशन में बेस्ड ऑन दी कैपेसिटी, बेस्ड ऑन दी फंड्स, बेस्ड ऑन दी रिसोर्सेज, कुछ ना कुछ वो अरेंज करते ही हैं, तो उसको भी यूज करें। उसके अलावा बहुत सारे फ्री टूल्स हैं, लेकिन फ्री टूल्स बहुत ज्यादा चेक नहीं करते, बट प्रीलिमिनरी चेक हम फ्री टूल से भी कर सकते हैं। जैसे वाइपर है, उनकी हर फ्री टूल की अपनी कुछ लिमिटेशंस है, एक दिन में इतना चेक कर सकते हैं वगैरह वगैरह। So with this, I will say, I think we have finished the quota of time. If you still have any questions, we can take care of those questions. I would say the point was to discuss with you कि कल को आप किसी कमेटी में हो और आपको कोई पॉलिसी डिसीजन में करना हो, so kindly support the original work. So thanks a lot. And if you have any more questions, okay. So there is one question: what is the difference between Google Classroom and Moodle? देखिए, गूगल क्लासरूम भी उसमें से कुछ चीजें ऑफर करता है, लेकिन मूडल इज मच मोर पावरफुल। मूडल के अंदर बहुत सारे ऐसे फीचर हैं जो गूगल क्लासरूम में नहीं है। और मूडल के अंदर, जैसे आप गूगल क्लासरूम में जाके कोई क्विज बनाना चाहें, तो क्विज आप बनाएंगे, वो क्विज आप अपलोड करेंगे तो बच्चों को दिखने लग जाएगा। मूडल में मेरा 1 महीने बाद क्विज है, मैं आज बना के डाल दूंगा और वो बच्चों को नहीं दिखेगा। इट विल बी टाइम बार्ड। गूगल क्लासरूम में आप एक क्विज लेंगे तो आपको घड़ी देखते रहना होगा कि मुझे इतने बजे कॉपी वापस लेनी है। और इस तरह के बहुत सारी, यानी फीचर रिच। उसके अलावा देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड सेफ ब्राउजर एग्जाम। अगर मैं एग्जाम ले रहा हूं और मैं चाह रहा हूं जब मैं एग्जाम ले रहा हूं तो उस टाइम ब्राउजर लॉक हो जाए, बच्चा कोई और चीज खोल ना पाए, इट इज क्वाइट पॉसिबल। सो सेफ ब्राउजर एग्जाम इज पॉसिबल इन मूडल। और मैंने लिया है मूडल में सेफ ब्राउजर एग्जाम अपने कंप्यूटर इंजीनियरिंग के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए। आई हैव टेकन इट दिस एग्जाम। सो व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज Moodle is much more matured LMS as compared to Google Classroom or what Google has to offer. But I think Google Classroom is the basic one, but it doesn't have many of the features that is offered by the Moodle. So Moodle is proper LMS, right? Any other questions?
सर ये टीचमेंट ट्यूशन ऐप कैसा रहता है?
क्या चीज?
टीचमेंट ट्यूशन ऐप एक आता है इससे।
देखिए ऐसा बहुत सारे एप्स हैं। मैं कहना चाह रहा हूं कि इंडिविजुअल जो एप्स हैं वो बहुत सारे लोगों ने एप्स बना के, बहुत सारे थर्ड पार्टी हैं जो बहुत सारे सॉफ्टवेयर बना के मार्केटिंग कर रहे हैं। तो एप्स तो बहुत सारे हैं, बट यू शुड यूज एन ऐप विच हैज बीन टेस्टेड बाय, अगर आपके इंस्टीट्यूशन ने कोई स्टैंडर्डाइज कर रखा है तो जाहिर सी बात आप वही यूज करेंगे। अगर इंस्टीट्यूशन ने कोई स्टैंडर्डाइज नहीं किया है, सो आई वुड से प्रिफर Moodle because it has been tested worldwide by more than 100,000 implementation. AMU implementation is one of them. So ऐसे 100,000 institutions across the globe in 120 languages have tested this solution. ये बहुत सिक्योर है। अब जैसे मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल के तौर पे दिखा रहा हूं और बहुत ट्रांसपेरेंट है, यहाँ मैनिपुलेशन पॉसिबल नहीं है। सबसे अच्छी बात यह है कि अब हमने अभी लॉग इन किया, हमने क्या एक्टिविटी की सब लॉग में मौजूद है। और हम, जैसे मैं आपको दिखा रहा हूं, अभी हमने लॉग इन किया था, आई जस्ट शो यू। So, I mean, there is no match to Moodle. Moodle is so what I can do is I can go to reports and I can go to reports and I can see logs and I can what all has happened and I can get these logs. I don't want to push because it's so here I can go and see the logs, and I can also go to live logs. For example, here I am here. So it will show me here are the live logs. So अभी हमने 26 फरवरी को 12:12 पर ये their learning management system में someone accessed from this ये इन आईपी एड्रेस से लोग एक्सेस कर रहे हैं। इट्स सच पावरफुल, राइट? अभी मैंने आपको असेसमेंट दिखाया था, मैंने दिखाया था ना आपको अपना असेसमेंट हैंड रिटन,
जी
वो लॉग
दिखाया
में
था।
आ गया। हैंड रिटन असेसमेंट मैंने खोला था ना, ये लॉग में आ गया, ये मैंने खोला था। सो दैट इज द मैच्योरिटी एंड द रोबस्टनेस एंड द कंप्लायंस इट ऑफर्स इज अनमैच्ड. So I would say if your institution has not standardized on anything, you can use the Moodle. But if your institution already has standardized on anything, then you will have to use. But let your management of your institution know the power and the robustness it offers. And I would say if any institution's system integrator needs any inputs on practical challenges or how to address, then I am available. I can definitely help the institution's technical team with the ideas and suggestions, right?
सर
Thank you,
Moodle
sir.
का वीडियो लेक्चर कहीं पे मौजूद होगा Moodle ट्रेनिंग का, जहाँ से हम इसको सीख सकते हैं?
Moodle नहीं, मैं कहना चाह रहा हूं कि आपका जो सब्जेक्ट रिफ्रेशर कोर्स हो रहा है ना, ये हमारा यूजीसी एचआरडीसी भी Moodle का कोर्स कराता रहता है। हमारे सब्जेक्ट कोर्सेज होते रहते हैं। आप जो है अपने आसिम सर से, जो प्रोफेसर आसिम जफर साहब हैं, उनसे रिक्वेस्ट कर लीजिएगा। ये हमारे स्वयं कोऑर्डिनेटर भी हैं, कराते रहते हैं, ये शेड्यूल में इंक्लूड कर लेंगे, तो उसमें आप रजिस्टर करके Moodle का कोर्स कीजिएगा। वी डू Moodle कोर्स, नॉट ए प्रॉब्लम। और हैंड्स ऑन कोर्स कराते हैं हम लोग। Moodle का यूजर आईडी पासवर्ड देते हैं, यूजर प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, सो देयर कंफर्ट इज आल्सो रेज्ड, राइट?
हाँ सर,
कोर्स
थैंक यू
सेटअप
सर।
करना, क्विज लेना वगैरह वगैरह, ऑल ऑफ दैट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ द कोर्स, राइट? बट वो कोर्स कई दिन का होगा, मल्टीपल डेज का होगा और प्रैक्टिकल होगा, लॉगिन आईडी पासवर्ड, मतलब वो कोर्स सिर्फ वॉचिंग द स्लाइड नहीं होगा, खुद काम करना होगा। वर्कशॉप कहते हैं हम उसको,
हाँ 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 सर,
Moodle workshop.
वही चाहिए था,
So we make the
सर
participants work during that workshop.
सर इस Moodle LMS को हमें खरीदना पड़ता है?
नहीं, खरीदना नहीं पड़ता है, ये सीधे डाउनलोड हो जाता है। खरीदना
जैसे गूगल
सर्वर
क्लासरूम
पड़ता है, हाँ डाउनलोड हो जाता है। सेटअप करना पड़ता है सर्वर पे, तो सर्वर खरीदना होगा और सेटअप करने के लिए थोड़ा सा एफर्ट लगाना होगा, वन टाइम बस।
जैसे गूगल क्लासरूम हम लोगों ने यूज किया और यूज करते हैं सर, तो वो फ्री है, तो उसमें हमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आती, वो हमारा पर्सनल रहता है गूगल क्लासरूम टीचर्स का, तो वी आर यूजिंग दैट।
इसमें यहाँ पे भी फ्री ही है, सिर्फ सर्वर, चूंकि सर्वर पे होस्ट करना होगा, तो वो सर्वर सेटअप करना होगा इंस्टीट्यूशन में। जाहिर सी बात है, इंडिविजुअल टीचर अपना सर्वर तो सेटअप नहीं करेगा, वो तो इंस्टीट्यूशन ही को करना पड़ेगा।
जी सर।
ठीक है चलिए। Anything else? Any
Okay,
other
sir.
questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for your time and wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Many, many thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.